Hello again. Today we're going to look at being heavenly minded. We'll look at Colossians 3, verses 1 to 3. Therefore, if you've been raised with Christ, keep seeking the things above, where Christ is, seated at the right hand of God. Set your mind on the things above, not on things that are on the earth. For you have died, and your life is hidden with Christ in God. Colossians 3, 1 to 3. Have you ever been told you're too heavenly minded to be any earthly good? Is this really possible for this to happen? We look this week at this question. Paul tells us in the text to set our minds on the things above, not on the things of the earth. What do you think he means by saying this? He says, if we have been buried with Christ, then we have also been raised with Christ. And in that case, we should be seeking the things that are above, where in fact we are seated. God sees us as seated in the heavenlies with Christ. So we are seated with Christ. If we are seeking heavenly things, what does that tell us about our living here? Don't we need to be concerned about matters of life, with what's going on around us? I don't believe we're being told not to take care of what we need to, but that we are not to make earthly matters, our priority. If we believe as we make I believe as we make heavenly matters our priority, then earthly matters will have a totally different meaning. If, for instance, we look at the current issues in our society, the virus, the unrest, etc., from an earthly perspective, we lean towards fear, anger, confusion, just feeling lost. On the other hand, if we look at these same issues from a heavenly perspective, we see that God is in control. We see if we allow ourselves, we can be open to God's answers. In the case of the virus, it can lead us to be less selfish and more concerned with the health of others and the safety of others. In the case of the unrest, maybe we can be open to be more inclusive in our attitude, to be more understanding of the other people's feelings. I'm not saying we should be bending over backwards, but we should be examining our attitudes and our actions towards other people. Maybe they're less honorable than what we think, and we need to adjust our attitudes, which should affect our actions. I believe that if we as believers would set our minds more on God's perspective and allow heavenly direction to follow through us, then we could find solutions to bring God's peace into these and every issue in life. I believe that as we take our eyes off of ourselves and put our eyes on God's word and God's spirit of love, we'll be more open to God's will flowing through us. Again, I ask again, is it really possible to be too heavenly minded to be no earthly good? Or is it that we're not heavenly minded enough?